Okay, this Mallett Technology Tech Tip is on file management in ANSYS EKM. Sean Catlin is going to be going through the presentation today. Sean, the screen is yours.
All right, thanks, Dan. All right, so what I'm going to show you today, this is kind of the 2-minute overview of how to manage your data with the ANSYS Engineering Knowledge Manager. There's many aspects of the Engineering Knowledge Manager. We can manage workflow. We can host web applications within the Engineering Knowledge Manager. We can, do remote job execution, where if you have a model in the Engineering Knowledge Manager, you can initiate remote solve on the back-end server. We can in the web browser monitor the solution status, those types of things. And we can do full lifecycle management of your engineering data with version control and lifecycle control. But for today's tech tip, we're really just going to focus on the data management aspect. So if you're new to the Engineering Knowledge Manager and you just want to see how do I get data from my ANSYS session into the Engineering Knowledge Manager, or how do you want to go into a web browser and see the data you have or find data that you want to use, this tech tip's really the one you're looking for today. So let me quickly pop open an ANSYS project, and I've got a little simple model here. It's a heat transfer model of a cup where you've got hot coffee on the inside, and you want to manage this model, or you want to share this model with a team, or you want to put this model onto a server so that it's backed up and it's secure. It's pretty easy to do, right? So when you're in your ANSYS project, on the File menu, you'll find that there's a button here to save a model to the repository, open another model from the repository. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this model. And the first thing you'll see is a list of folders that you have access to on the back-end server. The beauty of this as the engineer is you don't have to know where this server is. Is it Linux? Is it Windows? Is it, what's a username or another password, whatever that is. You don't have to waste engineering time trying to figure that out. You immediately get access to the folders that you have that you can save to, and you can directly browse right to those folders and find somewhere to put the model, or you can easily create a new folder. For this example, maybe I'll do that. I'll create a new folder. We'll call this maybe Tech Tip. And in that folder now, I can save this Workbench project. When you upload a model to the repository, you'll see right here at the bottom of the screen, you have options here to define if you want to put this under version control. So say I do want to do that. I want to get exclusive control of the model. So when I put the model away, other users can view the model. Somebody else can copy it down and kind of review it, or maybe use the model for something that they need to work on, but they can't change your model, right? You're now going to put this under version control, and this will be version 1, for example. You also have some alerts here where you can define if somebody goes in and looks at this model, you want to maybe know that that happens. If somebody downloads it, you want an email notice that it was downloaded. Or if this model wasn't put under exclusive control and you want to know if somebody else in your team modifies it, you can turn on the modify alert, right? So you have some really quick and easy things you can turn on so that you stay in the loop on what the status of the simulation efforts are in your model. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and save the model, and it just that quickly, I move the model over to the Engineering Knowledge Manager. So now what I've got a local version on my machine of this model. I've got a secure version on the server, and at this point, I could continue to work on this simulation. I could, in this case, this is a thermal stress model. Maybe my goal is to add the structural stress piece. So I drag and drop that on here, and I'm going to set up my structural solution. At this point, my model is now newer than the one on the server. And the nice thing is the Engineering Knowledge Manager knows that. So if I go to the File pull down, you'll see that this Send Changes is now available, because it knows that my current version is newer than the version on the server. And if I want to, I can go ahead and send the changes. and it'll want to know if I've already solved, do I want to include the heavy results data, or do I want a lightweight version, which is pretty cool if you're looking to move something around fast. I'm going to go ahead and send the whole thing over and update the model that was on the Engineering Knowledge Manager. If you want to find a new model, maybe you've just uploaded this and you're ready to move on to some other model that you want to work on, the beauty of the Engineering Knowledge Manager, you have live access from within an ANSYS session to your ANSYS data, right? So if I want to open a model that's already in the repository, you'll see here's my my coffee cup that I already put in here. But if I want to find a different model, I may not even know where this model is. I could come up to my search window here and I can search for something. Let's say I search for helmet, for example. Here's a project on my server called helmet. If I know something maybe more detailed than even the name, you can search for like the name of your CAD file. Let's say it was part 123. You can come in and say I want to search for part 123, and we'll find a simulation where that was used. Or you want to search by all models that you created. If you know your user ID, for example, you can put a username in. You can change a date range. So say you know you worked on a simulation file in January of last year, for example. You could do that. You can come specify a range, put in a username. It could be even a user that left the company. And I know that's a big problem we run into a lot. People leave, and then engineers end up redoing their work because they can't find their models because they put their model way in SharePoint, or they tried to put their model in some PLM system that doesn't understand the ANSYS data, and they just can't find the file anymore. So in the open from repository dialog, you just got to know something about the model. And if I search, I'm going to get a big list immediately. These are all the projects that are in the server that were created by my username. Right? So pretty easy to go and quickly find things. If you're outside ANSYS, maybe in a web browser or even in your mobile device like an iPhone or an iPad, you also can still get access to the data. So in this case, I'm in a Firefox web browser, and I want to search for that helmet file, right? So if I search for helmet, I could, well, I'm probably in the wrong place to search for that, but you can search for your data. If you want to go to, of course, if I was in shared data, I would have found it, right? So if I'm in my shared data, and I want to go to my sample files, and we want to see that model I uploaded. Here's that tech tip folder. All right, and you'll see here's this coffee cup model. I've got a little lock symbol here letting me know that this model's under exclusive control by some user. So if I need to edit somebody else's model, I get real-time access to who currently has this file and is editing it. I can click on the file and look at the project schematic. We can get any of the information about the model. You can see what the part looked like, what simulation results were there. So again, the idea is you got real-time live access to your data right from a web browser, an iPhone, or ideally from your ANSYS session. So that's what we were going to show today for the tech tip. If you have any further questions on the Engineering Knowledge Manager, just give us a call and we'll help you out.